Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu. We pay homage to the Blessed One, Supremely Enlightened Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We pay homage to our teacher, Lokaswami Nonse. Sadhu, sadhu. How is everybody doing? Very good. I think you had many questions from previous classes, so we didn't have time to discuss.
So I remember we were talking about the Bhante Gatikara, right? So
Yeah.
Gatikara, who is a non-returner, and Bhante, I remember the story is he is very generous because we were talking about stingy. So he's very generous, and although his financial is very limited, however, he he's he reserves the food intended for Buddha Kasapa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now of course, Bante, I was just thinking, of course, um, um, Gatikara really is very generous, and of course, he has a very deep reverence for Buddha. Um, but things sometimes is very impermanent. So what if I'm just thinking that um, let's say that he reserved the food for the Buddha, but then but the circumstances changed wherein somebody took the food, okay? Somebody ate it, and then the parents who are blind didn't notice or what, or let's say, and so. And so, what would be the reaction of Gatikara if he found out that it was not Buddha who came to it? And so, these things, and of course, he's very concerned about there's no food to give to Buddha. So, in that kind of circumstances, if I were Gatikara, I would react quite negatively, right? But
So
then,
you would get mad.
I, that would be the instant because I would be very concerned. I have no foods for
So
Buddha.
why wouldn't Gatikara get mad?
Um,
Would he get mad
I think he would
if it
not.
was
Okay.
not the Buddha?
Yeah, but then he has no food for Buddha, so his worry may be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
negative.
What do you think? Would he get mad
Ah, um,
because he didn't have any leftover to
yeah,
offer to the Buddha, right?
yes, and somebody stole it.
Okay, so what happens here is definitely I can say that there wouldn't be any difference
No difference.
because there is no room for anger whatsoever in his mind because by becoming a non-returner, that
Hmm.
is one of the fate you abandon entirely, which is hatred.
Okay. Oh, that's one of the upper lower four. Okay.
Yeah, so
Um,
that is already abandoned in him. Anger is gone. That's why we learn that when these defilements are abandoned, for example, when greed, hatred, and delusion are abandoned in the mind of an arahant, there is no one or nothing in this world that can arouse those defilements again. So that is how they live peacefully all the time. doesn't matter what is happening in the outside world. Remember when we learned Dhamma, it is repeated that that the
Mhm.
the problem is not outside.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So it doesn't matter if somebody steals Gatikara's stuff, food or anything,
Yeah.
still he wouldn't get mad because he doesn't know what anger is at that point. He doesn't know. His mind does not comprehend it. It's that sphere is fully erased in his mind.
But what about Bante, the worry? So because he has nothing to offer now.
Remember in the beginning part of the sutta, Buddha hinted something similar that when the king Kiki invited the Blessed One to accept his invitation for the rains retreat,
Mm-hmm.
the once the Blessed One rejected it,
Mm-mm.
because Blessed One already had accepted an invitation from Gatikara. The king was so worried. He was so sad. And then the Buddha said, Kiki, reading his mind, Buddha said, okay, now you got very upset and you are worried about the Buddha rejecting your invitation.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to reject Gatikara's invitation like that, he would not be worried. He would not get sad. So that's
Oh,
another sign um, in the Gatikara's mind that those kind of negative cloudy states are all also abandoned
oh,
to a greater extent.
okay, okay.
Because he's he's in the last stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Non-returner,
like
yes.
he is a non-returner. That means he is on the path to attain arahantship. He is almost in the full purification of mind. Very fortunate.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yes,
Okay.
Bante. It's kind of difficult for us layman to do because sometimes we would immediately react
Not even
and
layman.
worry. Yeah,
Even
I
even
would. I
even
would
even
react,
it is difficult for monks and nuns,
Es-
especially in this time period.
especially thinking I really reserve everything for the Buddha, right?
Hmm.
So that reverence is very important for me.
You know what happened? Like, yeah, that's why we always talk about this faith, reverence, and respect to the Triple Gem, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. It's an integral part of a faithful devotee, a disciple, a true follower of the Buddha. When these wholesome qualities are developed truly in such a disciple's mind, this
Hmm.
faith, this reverence, this deference is extremely like well established, is a very natural thing.
Hmm.
So he is a non-returner. So like it is very obvious that he wouldn't get mad and uh, get upset about these things. Think
Hmm.
about a disciple of the Buddha who was not yet an non-returner. So this also uh, a story from previous Buddhas, I think. Yes. So this faithful devotee built a kuti for this previous Buddha, and then there was an enemy of this person. So he was very jealous because this person, this faithful disciple of the Buddha, was always like sharing the merit with others, and he was so happy to donate this the meditation heart to the Buddha. So this what this enemy wanted to do was he wanted to hurt. In order to hurt this person, what he did was he he burned down the Buddha's hut, the kuti.
Mm.
So this person, the devotee, got the news and he ran to see what was going on, and he saw Buddha's kuti was in blaze. And so, you know what happened? He started laughing instead of crying.
Mm.
He was laughing, and the people asked, "Are you mad?"
Yeah. Hmm. Why laugh?
Why laughing? And he not only laughing, he was clapping. And people thought he was out of mind, and because he donated this kuti with so much faith, and now it is gone. Maybe that's the reason. He said, "No, I am very happy because I offered this kuti to the Buddha with so much faith. I collected lots of merit. Now I can build a second one and donate. So I can collect more merit."
Oh,
Did you think about that?
yeah, it's
So it's like that. So it's how you think. The way you think, you can suffer or you can live in peace.
mhm,
But it required lots of wisdom. Lots of wisdom and well established, well grounded faith.
mhm.
Okay,
Think about
so
it. Think
okay,
about that.
everybody's working towards that. Uh, if you don't have any other questions, we can move on with this new beautiful sutta. Huh? Yeah, so I'm going to share the screen. So this sutta is from the Middle and Discourses of Buddha. Um, I'm using this discourse, this amazing discourse, so that we can learn about the power of having Kalyana Mittas as our comrades, the power of the beauty of this association of friends with noble qualities, the spiritual friends, and also um when we leave this world, what is important in our life, what is going to support us, and what is going to follow us, what is going to come with us, and also another remarkable ability of the Buddha to scan the spiritual development of a person. Mm, and we can see even an arahant does not have that ability to scan through the spiritual faculties of a person. So these kind of things and or much more things very, very important. Okay. So um, we can discuss more as we go along. Can everybody read together?
So I observed. At one time, the Buddha was sitting near Rajana in the bamboo grove, the full of living ground. Now, at that time, Venerable Sariputta was wandering in the southern hills together with a large Sangha of monks. Then a certain mendicant who had completed the rainy season residence in Rajana went to the southern hills, where he approached Venerable Sariputta and exchanged greetings with him. When the greetings and polite conversation were over, he sat down to one side.
Sariputta said to him, Reverend, I hope the Buddha is healthy and strong. He is, Reverend. And I hope that the mendicant Sangha is healthy and strong. It is. Reverend. At the rice checkpoint at the city gate, there is a Brahmin named Dhanañjān. I hope that he is healthy and strong. He too is well.
But is he diligent?
How could he possibly be diligent? Dhananjani robs the Brahmins and householders in the name of the king, and he robs the king in the name of the Brahmins and householders. His wife, a lady of faith, who he married from a family of faith, has passed away, and he has taken a new wife who has no faith.
Oh, is that news to
Hear that Dhananjani is neglected. Hopefully, sometime or other, I will get to meet him and we can have a discussion. Okay, any questions so far? So this is Sariputta Bhante, and Sariputta Bhante asks about the Buddha's well-being, how Buddha was doing, and the monks replied, the Blessed One is doing very well. Blessed One is healthy and strong. And then Buddha asked about the fellow monks, the community of monks, and the monks replied, the community of monks also doing really good, healthy and strong. And then Sariputta Bhante wanted to know about his lay life friend, Dhanañjāni, was from his lay life. They were friends. So Sariputta Bhante learned that his friend was not diligent, he was negligent. Not diligent means he was not listening to the Dhamma, he was not keeping precepts, he was not practicing the path, he was not practicing right livelihood. Right? He was not keeping precepts. Unfortunately, he had a Kalyanamitta in his family, in his house. Who was that? A faithful wife, but unfortunately she passed away. So now you can see, like, even monks talk about it. So that means if you have a partner in the house, like husband or the wife or children, somebody or your parents in the family who can be a very good Kalyanamitta to you, like it's a great support. So this gives a message that when the faithful wife was at home, he was doing better. He was maybe he was practicing precepts. He was going to see the monks. He was listening to the Dhamma to some extent, and now he has lost everything because he brought another wife who has no faith. So she was not interested in the spiritual path. She was not basically following precepts, and so he lost that support basically. So that's also a powerful message. Like the people who are very close to our life, if they have really good qualities, like faith in an enlightened one, kindness, patience, generosity, understanding. If those people have these qualities, we are going to benefit. We are going to be protected. We are going to improve our lives. So that's why when Ananda Bhante told the Buddha about his feeling of this association of Kalyanamitas, Ananda Bhante said, Bhante, oh Blessed One, I feel like the 50%, the half of this spiritual practice depends on Kalyanamitas, the spiritual friends. Buddha said, you are wrong. Not 50%, 100%. Your spiritual path depends on the friends of good qualities, spiritual friends, Kalyanamitas. So you can see that is discussed here. It's in the other way also, right? And there is a wife and there is a faithful husband, and then the wife is going to benefit. Same thing. So then Sariputta Bhante was you cannot say he was sad, because sadness is gone from his mind. When we hear something about this, like something bad happened to one of our friends, we feel sad, right? Arahants don't feel. Arahants don't feel sadness. That negative quality is also abandoned. But instead sadness, the Arahant Sariputta Bhante has this compassion now. Those positive qualities are found always in Arahant's enlightened disciple's mind. So he has this compassion to help him. So he wanted to meet him one day. And Sariputta Bhante planned his journey especially to meet his lay life friend. Okay, you can continue reading. And stayed in the southern hills as long as he pleased. He set out for Rajaga. Traveling stage by stage, he arrived at Rajaga, where he stayed in the bamboo grove, the squirrels' feeding ground. Then he rode up in the morning and taking his ball and rope, entered Rajaga for arms. Now at that time Dhananjani was having his cows milked in a cowshed outside the city. Sariputta wandered for alms in Rajaga. After the meal, on his return from alms round, he approached Dhananjani. Seeing Sariputta coming off in the distance, Dhananjani went to him and said, "Here, worthy Sariputta, drink some fresh milk before the meal time. Enough, Brahmin. I have finished eating for today. I shall be at the root of that tree for the day's meditation. Come see me there." "Yes, worthy sir," replied Dhananjani. So here he had these good qualities hidden inside, but he was stuck with these worldly affairs and all these responsibilities in the lay life. And sometimes people are innocent and they also have this desire to see the monks frequently, to listen to the Dhamma, to participate in the Dhamma programs. But something comes up, something happens in their life. So inside they feel guilty, but it's difficult to overcome those obstacles. So he had some faith in the Sangha. See how he invited the Sariputta Bhante so he wanted to offer some milk, right? But the Arahant Sariputta Bhante already had his meal, so they normally took one meal per day, which is also in the morning time. After they finished, they would not eat anything, even in the morning time. That's called pavarana. So pavarana. Yeah. So you need to understand that as lay people, right? So if Bhante has done pavarana, finished the meal for the day, and you wanted to offer something, if Bhante say no, thank you, don't get angry, don't get mad, or don't be sad. Why is he saying like that? It's still morning time. You can eat, right? So there are different monastic practices in their life. So Sariputta Bhante replied, "I have finished eating for today." Think about that ability to control desire for food. And they are like stick to their practice of restraint, and it's amazing. It's amazing how our lives are controlled by desires. They have controlled the desires. Our lives are controlled by desires. Arahants have controlled desires. Okay, so let's continue. When Dhananjani has finished breakfast, he went to Sariputta and exchanged greetings with him. When the greetings and polite conversation were over, he sat down to one side. Sariputta said to him, "I hope you are diligent, Dhananjani." "How can I possibly diligent, worthy Sariputta? I have to provide for my mother and father, my wives and children, and my bond servants and workers, and I have to make the proper offerings to friends and colleagues, relatives and king, guests, ancestors, deities and king, and this body must also be fattened and built up." So that's a normal answer of a layperson, right? We ask, why are you not coming for SEAL program and these retreats? And they say, oh, I am so busy one day. I have to find money. I have to do a few jobs. You know, I have lots of loans to pay off, right? Lots of bills to pay, and same answer, right? And what is the meaning of this body must also be fattened and built up? That means, I have to enjoy myself. I have to entertain myself, that kind of thing. So no time to meditate, no time to go to the monastery. That was his answer. He was honest, right? And then, what do you think, Dhananjay? Suppose someone was to behave in an unprincipled and unjust way for the sake of their parents. Because of these, warrants of hell would drag them to hell. Could they get out being dragged to hell by pleading that they had acted for the sake of their parents? Or could they be pleading that acts had been done for their sake? No, this report. Rather, even as they were wailing, the warrants of hell would cast them out. See that? See, he already knew some Dhamma. The Sariputta Bhante didn't need to explain about hell to him. He already knew about it. Right? Maybe in the first part of his life, he was diligent. Maybe he went to the temple with his wife. He learned the Dhamma and he knew some Dhamma, but later some disaster happened. Right? He was so negligent, but he knew the Dhamma. And it can happen to anybody, right? And Sariputta Mahasi was already realized that why he said he was negligent, because he was earning money unrighteously. He was not practicing right livelihood. So he talks to the point. Sariputta Bhante asks about his rebirth. Okay, now you tell that you are doing this job even unrighteously because you want to support your parents. That's what you say. That's the excuse from your side. So what will happen when you die? If the karma is already arranged for you to be reborn in hell, will there be anybody to listen to your excuses? Huh? I was doing this wrongful thing in order to support my parents, so please release me. Don't take me to hell. Will there be anybody to listen to you? And he already knew the answer. He said, no, worthy Sariputta. Rather, even as they were wailing, the wardens of hell would cast them down into hell. That's the danger of these bad karma. What do you think, Dhanañjānisutta? Suppose someone was to behave in an unprincipled and unjust way for the sake of their wives and children, born servants and workers. So, when there are three dots, you have to fill that with that same explanation. Right? He was unjust for the sake of wives and children. Then, because of this, the waters of hell would drag them to hell. Could they get out of being dragged to hell by pleading that they had acted for the sake of wives and children, right? Or could their wives and children save them by pleading that the acts had been done for their sake? And the answer, no, worthy Sariputta. Rather, even as they were wailing, the wardens of hell would cast them down into hell. That's how you should understand, okay? So that section is applied to each section here. Bond servants and workers, friends and colleagues, relatives and kin, guests, ancestors, deities, king, fattening and building up their body. Because of this, the wardens of hell would drag them to hell. Could they get out of being dragged to hell by pleading for the sake of fattening and building up their body? Or could anyone else save them by pleading that acts had been done for them? Okay. And the answer? No, worthy Sariputta. Rather, even as they were willing, the waters of hell would cast them down into hell. Okay, now, after that discussion, Sariputta Bhante, out of compassion for his friend, is teaching this beautiful Dhamma. Sariputta Bhante basically tells him that there are options, alternative ways of finding money. This is a very good explanation about, like, if somebody says, oh, I like to follow the Dhamma, but I have to find money, so I have to do these unrighteous things, then you see an option here. Okay, please read.
Who do you think, Dhanañjāni, someone who, for the sake of their parents, behaves in an unprincipled and unjust manner, or someone who behaves in a principled and just manner? Someone who behaves in a principled and just manner for the sake of their parents. For principled and moral conduct is better than unprincipled and
Dhanañjāni. Others have livelihoods that are both profitable and legitimate. By means of this, it is possible to avoid bad deeds and practice the path of good. So this is very important. When we earn money, when we do our jobs, occupation, we need to think about two worlds, not only one world. Two worlds means this world and the next world. So you can be very rich in this world by doing wrongful things, by cheating others, hurting others, and you will be very rich in this life. But after that, you will suffer a lot. So the other thing is, you will be not that rich in this life, but you are doing good things. You are not harming or hurting others when you earn money, and then you will have some money, and after that, you will be extremely lucky, extremely happy. And another one is, you'll be very rich in this life with lots of money. At the same time, you earn that money in a righteous way. So you will be very rich in this life with this ordinary wealth, and also after that you will be very happy. You will be delighted with a happier rebirth, right? So it's like that. So which is better? Supporting parents with the money you earn righteously, right? That's better. But you have to sacrifice some of your happiness sometimes if you want to follow righteous ways. If anybody has questions, please unmute yourself and ask, because I cannot see everybody on the screen. Okay. Next one. Who do you think is better than Anjani? Someone who, for the sake of their wives and children, bond servants and workers, friends and colleagues, relatives and kin, guests, ancestors, deities, king, fattening and building up their body, behaves in an unprincipled and unjust manner, or someone who behaves in a principled and just manner. Someone who behaves in a principled and just manner. For principled and moral conduct is better than unprincipled and immoral. Dhanañjāni. Others have livelihoods that are both profitable and legitimate. By means of this, it's possible to build up body, avoid bad deeds, and practice the path of good. That's true compassion for a friend, right? That's what we need to hear from a friend. This is This is special statement from the Brahmin. With this statement, you realize that this Dhamma discussion was so powerful that his friend was transformed. What is that? What is that statement? Then Dhanañjāni, the Brahmin, having approved and agreed with what Venerable Sariputta said, got out from his seat and left. So he changed his mind to find a new job. That's the meaning of this saying. He approved and agreed. Okay. So in the first part of his life, he was good. The second part of his life, he was not so good. In the last part of his life, he is good. That's how life changes. Yeni, you have a question?
What is the Dhanañjāni, the Brahmin? What is that?
Yeah, that
Brahmin mean?
Brahmin means he's from a high caste family. Okay. Sariputta Bhante also from Brahmin clan. Okay, now this thing happened. Like it happens to everybody. Okay, what happened? He got sick and he was about to die. Will happen to everybody, right? So, but many people don't understand. Buddha said, if people understand, we are living here temporarily, we have to leave soon, the quarrels will come to an end. Buddha said that. But unfortunately, people don't understand the truth. They think we are forever here. We are not going to leave this world. This is mine. Because of that, the quarrels are not settled. Buddha said so. Sometime later, Dhanañjāni became sick, suffering gravely ill. Then he addressed a man, "Please, holy man, go to the Buddha and in my name bow with your head to his feet. Say to him, that the Brahmin Dhanañjāni is sick, suffering gravely ill. He bows with his head to your feet. Then go to Venerable Sariputta and in my name bow with head, feet. Say to him, Sir, the Brahmin Dhanañjāni is sick, suffering gravely ill. He bows with his head to your feet, and then say, Sir, please visit Dhanañjāni at his home out of sympathy. Yes, sir, that man replied. He did as Dhanañjāni asked. Sariputta consented with silence.
He rode up and taking his bow and robe
Went to Dhanañjāni's home, where he sat on the seat spread out outside. I hope you are keeping well, Dhanañjāni. I hope you are all right. And I hope the pain is fading, not growing, that its fading is everything.
I'm not keeping well, worthy Sariputta. I'm not getting by. The pain is terrible and growing, not fading. It's growing, it's evident, not it's fading. The wind is piercing the head so severe. It feels like a strong and drilling into my head with a sharp point. I'm not keeping well. The pain in my head is so severe. It feels like a strong man tightening a tough leather strap around my head. I'm not keeping well. The weeds slicing my belly are so severe, like a deaf butcher or their apprentice was slicing open a cow's belly with a sharp needle cleaver. I'm not keeping well. The burning in my body is so severe. It feels like two strong men grabbing a weaker man by arms to burn and scorch him on a pit of glowing coals.
I am not keeping well, worthy Sariputta.
I'm not getting by. The pain is terrible and growing, not fading.
It's
Growing is evident, not is fading. Dhanañjāni, which do you think is better? Health and
okay. So with this explanation of his pain, Sariputta Bhante knew there's no much time remaining. He's at the edge, right? So if somebody lives long until this point, like this is something to be expected. very severe pain due to sickness, old age, right? Every time we are born and we are ready to leave this world, we will have to go through this pain. That is why it is said birth is suffering, old age is suffering, death is suffering, illness is suffering. But this is a suffering of a happier world, good destination. Now Sariputta Bhante asks about a world that has extremely painful feelings, only painful feelings. Those beings experience only painful feelings, which is hell world. So now there is this deep Dhamma discussion. What, Dhananjani, which do you think is better, hell or the animal world? And Dhananjani, now he doesn't question, right? He doesn't ask, does hell exist? He doesn't ask those kind of questions. He already knew some Dhamma. He already knew about this world. So he says, compared to hell, the suffering in hell, animal world is better. That was his answer. So he had this knowledge. Which do you think is better, the animal realm or the ghost realm? Answer?
The ghost realm is better.
Which do you think is better, the ghost realm or human life?
Human life.
Human life is better. So this order, you can understand, this order is a very clear explanation about about pain and happiness, the order, the sequence. So here, hell, extreme pain, okay, and then compared to hell, animal world, less pain, okay, and then ghost world. The meaning here is saying better is the pain. Pain is less. Ghost world. And then, so these three worlds are always called bad destinations, lower destination, and then realm of misery. Okay, you need somebody needs lots of bad karma to be born here. Lots of bad karma, like killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, taking intoxicants, drugs, alcohol, lots of anger, greed. These unwholesome actions would lead to rebirth in these worlds. Okay, that's why, and then the consequences are very, very painful. And then after ghost world comes human. Okay, human world, less pain. It's not no pain, it's less pain. And then he says human life is better than the ghost realm. If you like to learn about these different worlds and what kind of feelings they experience in these worlds, you don't need to go anywhere else. You can just read the discourses and you get a very clear picture, very clear idea about each world. There are discourses about hell, there are discourses about animal world, there are discourses about ghost world, because remember, the Buddha is the Loka Vidu, the knower of the world. So that knowledge is fully shared in these discourses. And then if you want to know about everything about human world, you can just read the discourses. And then Sariputta Thero asks, which do you think is better, human life or as one of the gods of the four great kings? Okay, the gods of the four great kings. So after human world comes heavenly world. Okay, heavenly world. And if you want to know about the true information about heavenly world, there is plenty of information in these discourses. We have 18,000 discourses, and this is on suttacentral.net. You can read everything, and there are books translated by these Bantes. You can read Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi Bante, Venerable Ajahn Sujato, Ajahn Thanissaro. You can, if you need English translations, there are beautiful translations you can read, so you get a very clear idea. Maybe if you read these discourses, maybe this is the only life we get to learn about these things fully and also accurately. This will be the only life, and we have to do that before we lose eyesight. Temporary time, the eyes have this very short lifespan. So start reading these discourses if you like to read truth, amazing truth about worlds, about life. So this is the first heaven, Chatum Maharajika heaven, and it's said that it's better than the human world, but it's still this one. Okay, this one, not, you cannot say only pleasure in the heavenly world, more pleasure. Okay, with divine happiness, divine long life, divine beauty, divine fame, divine power in the heaven. And then Sariputta Bhante asks, so this is the Dhamma discussion between an arahant, an enlightened monk, and a layperson. Can we do this similar discussion today with the dying person? What do you think? Which do you think is better, the gods of the four great kings or the gods of 33, Tavatinsa? The gods of 33 is better, he says. Which do you think is better, the gods of the 33 or the gods of Yama? The gods of Yama is better. Which do you think is better? The gods of Yama or the joyful gods? Tusita. The Tusita gods, this heaven is better. Which do you think is better, the Tusita gods or the gods who love to imagine? Nimanarati, right? The gods, Nimanarati, better. Which do you think is better, the gods who love to imagine or the gods who control what is imagined by others? Paranimita Vasavati heaven. And he says Paranimita Vasavati heaven is better. So this is the list of heavens. Which do you think is better? The god, you like to select one to go? It's not easy like going from a country to another. Which do you think is better, the gods who control what is imagined by others or the realm of divinity? That's the Brahma world, right? Yeah, divinity is Brahma world. Which word is Sariputta speaks of the realm of divinity? Where is Sariputta speaks of the realm of divinity? Then Sariputta thought, these Brahmins are devoted to the realm of divinity, realm of Brahmas. Okay, it's the Brahma world. So after heavenly world, after this list of heavenly world, comes the Brahma world. Brahma world also there is a list of Brahma worlds. Okay, it's not singular, it's plural. Okay, so then extremely painful feelings, very painful feelings, very painful feelings, pain and pleasure mixture, very happy, extremely happy. Okay. So where are we? Don't think we are in the best world. There are more best worlds. Okay. Also, don't think that we are in the worst world. There are worse worlds than the human world. So, Sariputta Bandhi thought, okay, my friend is from Brahmin's clan and they always want to be united with the Brahmas. They pray to the Brahma. And so let me teach him the path. Dhanañjāni, I shall teach you the path to the company of Brahmas. Listen and apply your mind well, I will speak. Yes, Vadi sir, replied Dhanañjāni. Venerable Sariputta said this. And what is the path to company of Brahmas? Firstly, a mendicant meditates spreading a heart full of love, loving kindness, to one direction and to the second, to the third, to the fourth. In the same way, above, below, across, everywhere, all around, he spreads a heart full of loving kindness to the whole world, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. This is the path to company of Brahmas. Loving kindness meditation. So, the concentration generated by the loving kindness meditation, the jhanas, the absorptions, that's the path to be born in the Brahma world. When the meditation on the loving kindness, not on the loving kindness meditation, the Karuna meditation we practice today, this is the second. A mendicant meditates spreading a heart full of compassion. We practice Karuna meditation. And also they meditate spreading a heart full of rejoicing, appreciative joy, mudita, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. They meditate spreading a heart full of equanimity. Okay? Limitlessly, boundlessly. So Sariputta Bandhi taught him the path to be united with the Brahmas, to be born in the Brahma world, which is to practice these 4 types of meditations, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. Even one type of meditation can take you to the Brahma world. So it's, you can practice them all, or anybody can practice any one of these 4 meditations, 4 types of meditations, right? So that was the teaching. When the mind is developed with these kind of noble thoughts like loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, equanimity, that practitioner's mind inclines more towards the spiritual life. Because when the concentration and jhanas are developed based on these wholesome objects, the mind does not find happiness in the sense pleasures anymore. That desire is not uprooted, it's not completely abandoned, but that desire for sense pleasures is subdued. So the difference between somebody who entertains oneself with sense pleasures and a person who enjoys in meditation is that the person who entertains oneself with sense pleasures is it thinks that the sense pleasures, the worldly pleasures, the material things provide greater happiness. So that person is chasing after those happiness like food, drinks, alcohol, singing, dancing, movies, partying, and all these things. The person thinks this is the greatest happiness. And that the person doesn't understand the pain involved in that. But when the person inclines towards the spiritual practice, towards these meditation practices, that person's mind completely transformed to experience an advanced type of happiness, which is devoid of the pleasure of sense pleasures. So since that person already experiences an advanced happiness, that person recognizes sense pleasures as a source of low happiness. So that person doesn't want to reverse his life to a lower state. So when this meditation is developed, desire for sense pleasures at the same time is subdued. So it is necessary for the practitioner to be reborn in the Brahma world. So now, what do you think? Wasn't he encouraged by Sariputta Bhante to practice these meditations? He was, right? So he was so happy that an arahant was sitting beside him at the time of his passing. He was so fortunate. He was so happy. And on the last part of his life, the Kalyanamitta advised him, so he changed his life. He avoided doing evil, so he was purifying his precepts. Now he got this opportunity to concentrate his mind on these noble thoughts. And then he replied, "Well then, Sariputta, worthy Sariputta, in my name, bow with your head at the Buddha's feet." Doesn't somebody need lots of faith to say that? Because he remembers, even though I received this instruction from Arahant Sariputta, my lay life friend, he learned it from the Buddha. So he had the gratitude. So he wanted Sariputta Bhante to worship the Buddha in his name. And say to the Blessed One, he says, "Sir, the Brahmin Dhanañjāni is sick, suffering gravely ill. He bows it with his head to the Blessed One's feet." Then Sariputta, after establishing Dhanañjāni in the inferior realm of Brahma. Okay. So, okay. When you compare all these realms, you can say, in that comparison, Brahma world is superior to all these worlds. When you compare all the realms of existence with Nibbana, the stages of enlightenment, all the realms are inferior. Stages of enlightenment are higher. Okay, so this comparison comes from that background. And Sariputta Bhante got up from his seat and left while there was still more left to do. What is more left to do? Sariputta Bhante could have taught him about vipassana meditation, about Four Noble Truths, about dependent origination. You know, this deep Dhamma we learn every day, every class, we know. And Sariputta Bhante didn't teach those things because Sariputta Bhante thought it will be too much for this person, right? So, and Sariputta Bhante also was not able to scan through his spiritual faculties. That's important. Only the Blessed One has that ability. Buddha knows how to teach this specific person. If I teach this way, he would go to the Brahma world. That's all he can do. If I teach this way, he would attain the first stage of enlightenment. If I teach this way, he will be a non-returner. If I teach this way, he will be an arahant. Buddha knows perfectly what to teach. Only the Blessed One has that ability. So Sariputta Bhante didn't have that ability. Any arahants don't have that. So not long after Sariputta Bhante departed, Dhanañjāni passed away and was reborn in the Brahma world. Even with that, he was so lucky. Think about this. He passed hell, he passed animal world, he passed ghost world, he passed human world, he passed heavenly world. He ended up in the amazing Brahma world. There were ups and downs in his practice. He lost his faithful wife. Then he got stuck with these worldly things. He had to find money in unrighteous ways, but finally Kalyanamitta went far away looking for him to help him. That was an arahant. He received that help. He was so fortunate. He was humble to accept that. And then he started keeping precepts. He was developing faith in the Buddha and the Sangha. It's an amazing transformation. And finally, at the time of death, he received his advice from Arahant Sariputta Bhante. Even with this, he attained a lot, right? Then the Buddha said to the monks, Sariputta, after establishing Dhananjani in the inferior Brahma world, got up from his seat and left while there was still more to do. Buddha knew everything. Buddha was somewhere else, but Buddha was able to see what was happening there with his divine eye. And Buddha told so to the monks. And Sariputta Bhante didn't know Dhananjani passed away. Then he approached the Buddha, bowed, sat down to one side and said, Bhante, the Brahmin Dhananjani is sick, suffering gravely. He bows with his head to your feet. But Sariputta, after establishing Dhananjani in the inferior realm of divinity, the Brahma world, why did you get up from your seat and leave while there was still more left to do? Bhante, I thought these Brahmins are devoted to the Brahma world. Why don't I teach him the path to the company of Brahmas? Then Buddha said, and Sariputta, the Brahmin Dhananjani has passed away and been reborn in the realm of Brahma. Oh, he became a Brahma. No. Some Brahma world. No, not mentioned here. In the Brahma realm. Okay. So today we learned about this. Everybody can say sadhu. And then I'm going to share with you the next in the next class about this. While there was still more left to do, what is the meaning of that? We are going to explore. We are going to learn using some other discourses. So when a person is dying, that person may receive different instructions from a Kalyana Mitra, or that person may practice different things, and that would decide most probably where that person is going to be reborn. Okay, so if that person had not already attained stages of enlightenment before, even the last moment will last stage of his life will decide where he's going to go. So we learned a beautiful instruction here. Maybe without this association of Kalyana Mittas, he would have been born in a plane of misery. But this association changed his destiny. And there are other discourses where you can learn. Some of the disciples are taught the Dhamma in a very deep level, and they attain stages of enlightenment, and that is the meaning of the question here by the Blessed One. Any questions? Any last questions?
A short question. In regard to the Yama in the Sutta Pitaka, the place where we can learn more about this Yama, realm of Yama Deva. It's not really mentioned in the Sutta.
Yama?
Yeah, like
Yama.
Yama is in the lower world, right? The King Yama. King Yama is like they drag people to the hell.
That's Yama.
Oh, that's Yama. This one is
Yama.
Yama is the
Heavenly world.
we don't have.
And the leader of that world is Suyama, right?
Suyama.
So what is your question?
In the we don't really know about
King Yama?
Yeah.
King Yama? No, we know. Because in the Devaduta Sutta and Bala Pandita Sutta, Buddha teaches about king, the Yama. He is the in hell who decides punishment.
The one is Yama.
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 Yeah, Yama.
But this realm of in
It's
the heaven
Yama.
is Yama.
Yeah.
Suyama.
Yeah, leader is Suyama. Any other questions? Yamaka?
Oh, that's fair.
Pairs. Yamaka Vagga means chapter on pairs. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bante,
Mhm.
I have a question. Isn't it better to be born in one of the 6 sense sphere realms where Dhamma is available, and then we can progress in the path by listening to that Dhamma, than to be born in a Brahma world or or any other realm, except if you can go to the pure abodes? But that's only for non-returners. But if we are not, if you haven't reached the stage of a non-returner, and then we want to make an effort to practice the Dhamma and awaken to the bliss of Nibbana, isn't it better to be born in one of the sense sphere realms like Tusita world, where there's tons of Dhamma available and Maitri Buddha is there?
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
Any heaven is really good.
I mean, where you can meet your Kalyana Mittas and practice together
Yeah, but
and
the
progress.
Brahma world is not a bad place, but you can say it is easier to be born in heaven than to be born in the Brahma world, because when you compare those two categories of world, I mean,
Mhm.
In order to be born in the Brahma world, you need to make a really great effort to abandon the desire for sense pleasures from your mind.
Mhm.
So that's requires lots of meditation practice.
Mhm.
But it's also not a bad place. You get Kalyanamittas in the Brahma world as well, because one time when no, that's in the other worlds. So yeah, even in Brahma worlds, there are lots of Kalyanamittas. And when Buddha was teaching, lots of Brahmas came to the human world to listen to the Dhamma. So it's not a bad place. Both heavenly world, I would say, from when we learn the teachings of the Buddha, you can say both heavenly world and Brahma worlds are really, really good places to meet Kalyanamittas again and to practice the Dhamma towards the attainment of stages of enlightenment. Yeah.
Which world is the deities?
Deities?
Did it say the heavenly world?
Yeah, heavenly worlds. Yeah. The gods and goddesses are called deities.
Thank you, Bante.
Okay.
Bante, so I think the answer would be the level of maturity of each particular person, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically, yeah, it's
the
depends
maturity.
on the individual's practice.
Now, so Bante, I would like to ask about the Brahma world.
And
What do
one thing to note also, in the Brahma world, there are only males.
Yes, I want to ask that question. So
Same question?
I think I read something about everything is just
So if
Yeah.
female practices those 4 types of meditations really well, they would become as a male Brahma, like in the
Okay.
Brahma world. So that's how it works. And so not only that, that's not the only reason the Brahma world becomes that sort of world, it's also devoid of sense pleasures. That's a big difference. In human world and heavenly world, there is this dispute of sense pleasures. Everybody is chasing after money, 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 fame, power, authority, all these things. Is because the sense pleasures is the governing thing in this world. And the wise people are tired of this. The wise people are tired of this struggle, this fight in order to own these worldly pleasures. For them, there is this peaceful place called Brahma world. There is no involvement of sense pleasures. So they can remain in that world until they completely escape from this cycle of rebirth. But it's very difficult to go there. It's not impossible, it's very difficult. And when you follow the path, you don't think, okay, I am following this path to be born in this world, in that world. You follow this path with the intention of attaining stages of enlightenment. And your practice will take you to the world where you belong. So what you need to have in your mind is that let me follow the path in order to attain stages of enlightenment. In that path, there is loving kindness meditation, karuna meditation, mudita meditation, upekka meditation, breathing meditation, asubha meditation, and all these meditations. So according to the karma accumulation, according to the maturity of spiritual faculties, one will be born in the human world after death, one will be born in one of those heavens, or one will be born in the Brahma world. Is that clear? So the intention should be attaining Nibbana. But we need to understand what is happening in these worlds. Yeah, if you want to compare these realms, Brahma world is a very, very peaceful world. There is no these money problems, sense pleasures problems, zero. But don't think that it is similar to Nibbana. Because even in the Brahma world, there is suffering in very, when you learn the Dhamma in deeper levels. If there is birth somewhere, there is suffering. So Brahma world means a place. It's included in the existence of rebirth, old age, sickness, and the existence of 5 aggregates of clinging. It's included in the existence. Brahma world is not excluded from this existence of rebirth. So the best thing is to achieve is not rebirth, but Nibbana, end of rebirth. But until one attains end of rebirth, one will be reborn in these worlds.
So Bante, Brahma world, so generally what activities do they do? So it's just meditation and progressing? Do they eat? Do they do some other
Yeah,
activities?
they have.
I'm just wondering, Bante.
They eat, like they
eat. Okay.
but they eat very like very subtle food, not gross food like in the human world, rice and curry, but they have their own subtle food. And when you read the discourses, you get to know that they spend most of the time like meditating, immersed in jhanas for thousands and thousands of years or eons, hundreds and thousands of eons. They emerge in meditation, they feel only the bliss of absorptions, meditation.
Very nice. So Bhante, I read something about Tavatimsa, which is the realm of the gods of 33. Am I right, Bhante? So is it true that it's governed by the 33 only, and these 33 gods are all men? And then if there are any women there, they are the servants. Am I right, Bhante? That's what I read. Is it correct?
I am not sure that one, but not like that. There are gods and goddesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So maybe it's
in all
along.
those heavens there are gods and goddesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I was
They
wondering, how
have
did
been
it?
born with a powerful merit in their lives, so it's not like servants.
Yeah,
All
okay.
the gods and goddesses experience so much divine pleasures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
But not in the Brahma world. So they're
not
all
in the
men. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
In the human world, there are fights, right? The wars. In the heavenly world also there are wars. Buddha has explained. In the Brahma world, no. These wars exist with this pursuit after sense pleasures. If you want to see a world without wars, which is Brahma world. And also in the human world, you have a time without wars, which is under the rulership of Chakravarti Maharaja, the wheel-turning monarch, universal monarch. And his rebirth is also very rare, like the rebirth of the Buddha. When such a king rules the human world, there are no wars. Because he is so righteous king. Yeah, so beings suffer a lot with these sense pleasures. There is no end to this craving. Craving is like in this power of craving, beings are like slaves. Craving, people are helpless. Craving pushes beings here and there and finally puts in a jail for the lifetime, right? Put lots of mental suffering. It's so much mental suffering the person has to go through. It's amazing that Buddha gave this one and only solution to these problems in life, which is attaining stages of enlightenment, nibbana. Sadhu. We collected lots of merit this evening by going for refuge to the triple gem, observing precepts, practicing meditation, reading the words of the Buddha, words of the great Arahant Sariputta Thero, discussing the Dhamma and also helping each other in many ways. We share all the merit with our teacher, Lokaswami Nohansi. We share merit with all the monks and nuns in the world. We share merit with departed relatives. We share merit with all the devas. We share merit with parents, teachers, family members, with all beings in this world. May all beings enjoy good health, long life, happiness, and peace.
Also, Bhante, many merit for beautiful sutta, and we would like to share merit with Bhante and ask for forgiveness. Okasa Vandami Bhante.
It's okay.
Maya Tampunya Sadhu.
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 Sadhu. Bye-bye. Sukhi hontu, abhivadanasīlis, niccang vardhāpachāyino, cattaro dhamma vardhanti āyuvanno sukham balang āyurārogya sampatti sagga sampatti menaca. Ato nibbāna sampatti minate samijjatu. May you be well and happy. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya. Thank you, Bhante. May you be well and happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sukhi.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.